welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Allie. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not, welcome back. This video is a little bit different from the normal content I would say I put on my YouTube page, if you can't tell by the title. So if you're like me, you work a full-time job, you have a pretty consistent routine week to week. I'm also a very deeply creative person. It's a really big part of my being. And in different jobs I've had over the years, I know what it can feel like to have a job that's very stressful and creates a lot of anxiety in your life, and there might not be space to be creative. And as a creative person, I know firsthand how soul-crushing that can be. And I'm blessed to say that I recently changed jobs and it has been so good, and I now have a lot of headspace to actually be creative again. But since then, these are 5 things I have implemented in my day-to-day life to allow for creativity and to create intention to have more creativity in my life. And it has been so life-giving, y'all. I really would love for you to tune in and just hear what I have to say, because it was something that's been really on my heart and I've really felt the need to share, and thought maybe there are other people out there that might be in the same situation and just need something to help them spark creativity. And just doing something like that for yourself is so big. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please go ahead and click that like button and click subscribe to keep up with more videos as I post them. If you have other ways that you stay creative, please leave a comment for me. I'd love to see what you guys all do to stay creative, and I hope you enjoy. So I think this was a Monday, but I was really craving some time at the pool. School's back in session where I am, so I knew it would be empty. I was wanting to journal and just have some quiet time by myself. So that brings me to the first thing I wanted to talk about, which is basically just writing down your thoughts. Now that can look different for different people. For me, it is journaling, writing down things that I hope for, that I dream about. Honestly, whatever. It's essentially just getting everything in your mind down onto paper. That kind of a release, I think, is so therapeutic. Honestly, you might just really need that. And I think having time spent by yourself with your thoughts is so healthy, and it really puts you back centered within yourself. And that leads to all kinds of creative potential. Something that is really important to know is just to listen to your soul. Like, I really feel like my soul, my spirit was telling me, Allie, you need to take some time, just be with your thoughts, think about where we're at, really spend time dreaming and thinking and writing down all the creative ideas that run through your brain 24/7, and finally just get them onto paper. And it doesn't have to be pretty, it can be super messy. Just jotting everything down is a great starting point. All right, y'all, I snagged these lamps at a thrift shop for like $5.50 a piece. Pretty old, look like they're from the 80s or something. I'm gonna wipe them down because they're a little dusty. They've been sitting in our storage shed, but I thought they were the perfect size to put some like big, wide, kind of squatty, white cream colored lampshades on. And I'm gonna refinish these so that they look more like Mediterranean antique clay pottery. So I will show y'all that once they're done. So this brings us to number 2, which is just creating something with your hands. Now that can look different for everybody. For me, in this particular case, it was flipping a couple of vintage lamps from the thrift shop, putting a bunch of stuff on it, and you'll kind of see this process. But it can be flipping something, it can be some kind of DIY. If you like to paint or draw or garden, whatever it is, something that makes you feel creative. Essentially, the premise of what I'm trying to say is to just do the thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Honestly, it's just to evoke this feeling of creativity and inspiration. And finally, just getting your hands dirty is so deeply gratifying and satisfying to yourself and your soul. and just doing the damn thing, not expecting any perfection or anything like that. Finally have to take action at some point. I think I had YouTube or something playing in the background, but just make the time for whatever it is that you want to do, and you'll feel so much better for it, and you'll consider creating the time for it more in the future, and hopefully it'll become more of a part of your routine. This was a really rainy Saturday afternoon recently, and my soul was craving candlelight and pastels and just drawing random things on paper and looking out the window. So that takes us to number 3, just to listen to your soul and what it wants to do, because I could have easily overlooked that feeling, but I chose to give into it, and I was overwhelmed with so much peace, and I felt so calm. And I actually showed a clip of this on my TikTok, so go check out At Home with Allie. But it can look like whatever you want, but just to listen to your soul, like I've been saying, really taps into your creativity, and you'll be surprised by yourself if you actually listen to what your heart's telling you to do. So I have been cleaning this morning, and you know, something that I think is very underrated about being creative is that your space influences your mind so much, and whether that means the aesthetic of your space and that it looks like, you know, your insides on the outsides and how you decorate, or if it's just that your space needs to be cleaned and it just feels so cluttered and it creates almost like a mental block. I totally think cleaning your space helps to open up your mind and allows for the creative juices to start flowing, and I just thought I'd share that. So let me take you around to what I've done so far. Hang on. Okay, so I just cleaned up in here. I'm cleaning up all the blankets and everything, and cleaned off our little coffee table. I've swept all the floors and everything in here, and I cleaned out the dining room, so that's all cleaned off. I've got a few little cluttery things here, my filming stuff, some stuff I need to take upstairs. We're at a lack of storage right now, so I've just got some like random decor things hanging out everywhere. But if you come into the kitchen, I'm only going to show this for a split second. Look at this. Look at all that. So all of these are clean, just FYI, so don't come at me. But there have been dishes for the last day or two sitting there, and I really need to do some cleaning. That's why I started this morning. But once that gets cleaned up, I'll show you, and it just makes me feel so good to have a space that is just airy and open and clean, and people can walk in at any time. I've got a little project going on here that I think I shared earlier in the video. I just felt like sharing that it is so underrated to clean your space, because that to me just allows you to actually hold space to, you know, think and create and do things that you enjoy when you're actually like, you know, I can relax in my space. And clutter, and if it's not clean or whatever, it can really hinder that. So I thought that was, you know, worth mentioning. It's not something you ever have to spend money on. So now I just have space to be doing my little project that I have to finish still over there, but I thought I'd move the bar cart over here. Okay, ignore my stuff from work today, but just for the sake of getting something here, just to see what it looked like. Look at this, how cute. This is just something I had at the house just so I could see what something would look like in here on the table, because I don't have anything right now. So I actually made this pot. It was a terracotta pot that I picked up at a little junk store or something for really cheap, and I covered it in mastic and spray painted it, and I did it to the inside as well, so it was all coated, and I added this really beautiful rough texture to it, so it looks like nice pottery. That was sitting right here, and I decided when I got this little runner, you know what, I really need a centerpiece for the table, so I wanted to see what this would look like. So I just put that there just to have fun. So I've just been playing around, moving things around in my house. And something else I rearranged was this dried, really sad looking vase with things in it was sitting right there by itself, and I had a bunch of old records sitting over here just leaning against the wall, and I was just really tired of looking at that the way that it was. So I brought this mirror. So I thought I would maybe work with some layering fun, and I just leaned it against the wall and put this really nice candle sitting in front of it. And I kind of like the little moment that it creates, and it kind of opens up the room a little bit to have a mirror just kind of set behind the TV right there. I don't know, just fun little layering piece. It's just fun for me. It may not be permanent, but just things that kind of keep your creative juices going, and it's just fun to play around with your space, and it's not all permanent, so you can always move stuff around. And then I brought this little old antique stool that we have upstairs. Just play around in your space, especially if that's what you're working on. And I just thought I'd share that you don't have to spend a lot of money to be creative too in your free time, because if you're not working, you have this time, and if it's a priority enough to you and it's a desire of yours, that you should make it a priority. All right, well, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Apologies that we're sitting in front of the bar cart and some dirty dishes, but I do need to go take care of those. Clearly, I did not intend for this video to turn into what it did. It was kind of sporadic and all over the place, so apologies for that. I hope you got some, tidbits that maybe resonated with you and in your life. And it's just been on my heart to share that you don't have to have a lot of money to create creativity in your life. And more than anything, it just takes the desire and the mindset to actually have the intention to do that, because your thoughts and how you speak to yourself and everything has so much power over you and in your life, and it all starts in your mind. So if you have the desire to be creative, and if you start just by thinking those things, you'll somehow find a way to catch the momentum and to take action. And you can do them all the time, every day. And I understand that it's hard when you work full time. It's so important to have that time for yourself. I think if you decide to create the intention to do that, you'll be surprised at how much it helps your mind and your mental health. And if you're someone like me that's deeply creative, it's just a very positive addition in your life. And soon you'll find that you just create the time and the space for it. So I hope you liked this video. I loved filming it, even though it was kind of all over. Click subscribe so that you can keep up with more videos as I post them. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.